The genesis of Judaism, founder, inception, and the covenant with Abraham. The Jewish religion, with its rich tapestry of history, law, and theology, traces its origins to the ancient covenant between God and the patriarch Abraham. This essay explores the founder, start date, reasons for founding, and the central figure behind the establishment of Judaism, shedding light on the foundational narratives and enduring principles that define this venerable monotheistic faith. Founder and start date. Unlike many other major world religions, Judaism does not have a single founder or a specific start date. Instead, its origins are deeply intertwined with the historical experiences and spiritual journeys of the Hebrew people. The patriarch Abraham is often regarded as a central figure in the establishment of Judaism, and his covenant with God forms a foundational narrative. Abraham, known as Avraham in Hebrew, is considered the father of the Jewish people. According to biblical accounts, he was born in Ur of the Chaldeans, in ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around the 19th or 18th century BCE. The narrative unfolds in the book of Genesis, where God calls Abraham to leave his homeland and embark on a journey to the land of Canaan. The biblical timeline places Abraham's life in the early Bronze Age, making it challenging to establish precise historical dates. Instead, the significance of Abraham lies in the foundational stories and covenantal relationship he established with the divine. Reasons for founding. The founding of Judaism is rooted in the covenantal relationship established between God and Abraham. The covenant, a central concept in Jewish theology, represents a sacred agreement between the divine and the Hebrew people. The key elements of this covenant are outlined in the book of Genesis, particularly in chapters 12, 15, and 17. Divine call and promise. God's initial call to Abraham involves a promise to make him a great nation, to bless him, and to make his name great. This divine promise extends to Abraham's descendants, and they are to become a blessing to all nations. Land of Canaan. The covenant includes the promise of a specific land, Canaan, as the inheritance for Abraham's descendants. This land, later known as the Promised Land, holds profound significance in Jewish theology and history. Circumcision as a sign of the covenant. As a tangible sign of the covenant, God establishes the practice of circumcision, symbolizing the separation and consecration of Abraham and his descendants. Circumcision becomes a distinctive marker of the covenant throughout Jewish tradition. The covenant with Abraham lays the groundwork for the identity and destiny of the Hebrew people. It establishes a unique relationship with the divine, marked by promises, responsibilities, and a sense of chosenness. Central figure. Abraham emerges as the central figure in the establishment of Judaism due to his pivotal role in the covenantal narrative. Described as a man of faith, Abraham exemplifies obedience to God's call and trust in divine promises. His willingness to leave his homeland, his hospitality toward divine messengers, and his demonstrated faith during challenging circumstances characterize the biblical portrayal of Abraham. The Akedah, or the binding of Isaac, is a poignant story that further emphasizes Abraham's faith and obedience. According to the narrative in Genesis 22, God tests Abraham by instructing him to sacrifice his son Isaac. Abraham, in a demonstration of unwavering faith, prepares to carry out the command, but an angel intervenes, sparing Isaac and affirming Abraham's fidelity. Abraham's legacy extends beyond the covenantal narratives. He is revered as a model of hospitality, righteousness, and devotion to God. In Jewish tradition, he is often referred to as Avraham Avinu, Abraham our father, emphasizing his role as the patriarch and spiritual progenitor of the Jewish people. Abraham's descendants, through his sons Isaac and Ishmael, contribute to the formation of distinct communities, with Isaac being particularly significant in the lineage that leads to the Israelites and, subsequently, the Jewish people. Evolution of Judaism. The covenant with Abraham lays the foundation for the subsequent development of Judaism, which undergoes significant transformations over the centuries. The biblical narrative continues with the story of the Israelites' enslavement in Egypt, their liberation through the leadership of Moses, and the reception of the Ten Commandments at Mount Sinai. The period of wandering in the wilderness and the eventual entry into the Promised Land mark critical junctures in Jewish history. The conquest of Canaan, the establishment of the monarchy under figures like King David and King Solomon, and the construction of the First Temple in Jerusalem contribute to the shaping of Jewish identity, practices, and religious institutions. The Babylonian exile in the 6th century BCE and the subsequent return to the land of Judah mark another significant phase in Jewish history. During this time, key biblical texts, including the prophetic writings and historical narratives, are compiled and edited. The Second Temple period witnesses further developments, including the Maccabean revolt, the Hellenistic influence, and the emergence of diverse Jewish sects such as the Pharisees, Sadducees, and Essenes. The destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans in 70 CE leads to the dispersal of the Jewish people, known as the diaspora. Despite the challenges of exile and dispersion, Judaism adapts and evolves, giving rise to Rabbinic Judaism, characterized by the authority of rabbis, the development of the Talmud, and the emphasis on synagogue-based worship and study. The medieval period witnesses the flourishing of Jewish scholarship and culture in various regions, including Spain, North Africa, and the Middle East. Jewish philosophers like Maimonides contribute to theological and philosophical discussions, and Jewish communities thrive in cultural and economic pursuits. The modern era brings new challenges and opportunities for Judaism. The Enlightenment and Emancipation movements afford Jews greater civil rights and participation in secular societies. However, it also raises questions about the compatibility of traditional Jewish practices with the values of modernity. The 19th and 20th centuries witnessed significant transformations, including the rise of different Jewish movements such as Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox Judaism. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 marks a historic moment in Jewish history, providing a homeland for a significant portion of the global Jewish population. Contemporary Judaism reflects a diverse tapestry of beliefs, practices, and cultural expressions. While rooted in the covenant with Abraham and the biblical traditions, Judaism continues to evolve and adapt to the complexities of the modern world. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Jewish religion finds its roots in the covenant established between God and Abraham, a foundational narrative that shapes the identity, beliefs, and practices of the Jewish people. While Judaism does not have a single founder or a specific start date, the covenant with Abraham establishes a unique relationship between the divine and the Hebrew people, emphasizing promises, responsibilities, and a sense of chosenness. Abraham, as the central figure, exemplifies faith, obedience, and devotion, leaving a lasting legacy as the patriarch of the Jewish people. The evolution of Judaism spans millennia, encompassing historical events, theological developments, and cultural expressions that have shaped the diverse landscape of Jewish identity. Today, Judaism remains a vibrant and enduring faith, grounded in its ancient traditions and responsive to the dynamic currents of contemporary life.